One purpose, one dream, one rhythm, one step closer to glory.
Enemy spotted.
They say history remembers the winner. So who will be the ones writing the future? The halls of power call for their kings. The ones who won't back down. The ones who believed. The ones who knew that over 100 nations can't be wrong. Join the fight between August 24th and September 3rd as Yash becomes the world's esports capital.
In the previous guide, we learned the basics of the new emblem system. This time, we will take a closer look at the core talents unlocked with the basic common emblem, tank emblem, and fighter emblem. Core talents unlocked with the basic common emblem. By upgrading the basic common emblem, you can unlock two core talents, Impure Rage and Quantum Charge. Both are suitable for most heroes. The new Impure Rage talent now deals adaptive damage, making it a good damage-enhancing talent for a variety of heroes, such as Eve, Nathan, and Diggy. Eve is a hero with great poke and control abilities. She can use the extra damage and mana regen from Impure Rage to constantly wear down enemies. The new Quantum Charge talent now restores HP based on the hero's level and not their physical attack bonus, making it viable on more heroes that want HP recovery and mobility, such as Edith, Leslie, Layla, etc. When equipped with Quantum Charge, Edith in both forms can use the movement speed bonus triggered by her basic attacks to keep a safe distance from the enemy and the extra HP regen to stay in the fight. Core talent unlocked with the Tank Emblem. By upgrading the Tank Emblem, you can unlock Concussive Blast. Concussive Blast works the same as before, providing an extra source of AoE damage for high HP heroes, such as Johnson, Baja, and Hilda. Hilda is a high HP hero who can tank a lot of damage when equipped with a full set of defensive equipment. The Concussive Blast talent will not only enhance her survivability, but also boost her damage. Core talent unlocked with the Fighter Emblem. By upgrading the Fighter Emblem, you can unlock Brave Smite. Brave Smite is no longer triggered by inflicting CCs. It now takes effect upon dealing skill damage and is suitable for most fighters and tanks that need more HP regen. Ruby, Lapu Lapu, Tigreal, and similar heroes can choose this talent. Ruby can trigger Brave Smite repeatedly by casting skills, and with her own regen abilities, she'll have even greater durability in teamfights. Choose the core talent based on the strengths of each hero to maximize their effectiveness. We look forward to seeing players discover new ways to play their favorite heroes on their way to becoming a legend.
أنا محمد اسمي في اللعبة جد.
Hello guys, my name is Batold. My nickname is Etanaro.
My name is Muhammad, also known as Tarazan.
Hello everyone, my name is Mara and my IGN name is Chmar.
Hi, I'm Sarjil Shariar, also known as Sarge.
Hello, my name is David Charles Cannon, also known as Flap TZ.
To competing in the IESF Championship, I feel so proud because I'm the representative of Cambodia, and feel like excited because I meet a lot of players from another country, from another region. They're so friendly and yeah, so I'm so happy and enjoy talking to them. And some players talk to me that they know me, and I'm also proud of myself because my name is Joe. Faith. You know what I mean, right? Yeah.
I feel grateful because I'm representing my country, Philippines, and I'm one closer to my dream to have the championship title.
It's a really huge event and it's a serious honor to come here, and the competitiveness is actually insane. Like, a lot of the teams are really strong and we've gotten a lot of respect and friendliness with the other teams as well.
شعوري وشعور تيمي إن خاصة مو قاعدين نمثل نفسنا بس، قاعدين نمثل المنتخب الإمارات، فغير إنه شعور عظيم جدا إن قدرنا ناخذ فرصة إن نمثل منتخب الإمارات، وأكيد إحنا مبسوطين بالشيء هذا وفالنا التوفيق. بصراحة شعور جميل جدا.
It's my first international LAN tournament and it feels really good.
It's an honor since we're the first team in Saudi Arabia that's selected for Mobile Legends. It's been a thrill so far. Every team is so good and I'm excited to face more teams.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back from that refresher, if you will. Again, I'm Naisu here with OSX. And we are knee-deep into a Game 3 we should be jumping into shortly, right? But again, this is Game 3 between Cambodia and Mongolia, and it's all fighting for that grand final spot.
It's all about the climb, and we're back in the game, 18-16, 18 minutes in. Sika is down, D7 as well. Now Mongolia trying to bounce back in this game.
Okay, let's catch ourselves up, right? 18 minutes in, the last Lord was secured. I believe it was Cambodia that had it, right? So now each team has had that. They also have even turrets. Lord is now going to be up here, right? 3 seconds away, just spawning now. And as both teams kind of get in position, Mongolia making the first play, right? They want to go ahead and start with this. As they do, already going. It doesn't even seem like Cambodia's going to get there in time. Mongolia they just take the Lord here, securing it.
Melting it down really quick. Mongolia now getting a grip on what's happened from that pause. 19 minutes gold lead on to them. Now wave clear though, still present for Fury and also ADM. So we still have a lot of ways to even secure their late game insurance, as we call it.
Wow, okay. Well, I'm really kind of just wondering here how Cambodia responds to this, right? How do they respond to the fact that, yeah, now they got to deal with this Lord. You can even see D7 kind of getting in position here too, but at the same time, they're stuck together, right? They have to be, because even itemization-wise, Mongolia has that little bit of an advantage. They should be able to play around this Lord March, and it's going to force Cambodia to just be on the defense. You also mentioned this, OSX. They have a lot of options available to them to actually win these fights here.
Yeah, all items in, locked and ready for Mongolia. Ready to strike anytime soon. But now Cambodia here needs to be in a great and a tight defense there, because things might go wrong. Half HP.
Okay,
Dropping
D7.
D7 though.
Gonna go for ZX Aura. Gets caught out. Does get the Colt Altar down though. Buys a little bit of time for Cambodia to clear out the Lord, but it could be a little bit too late. Deadliest Cash used. Here comes Forbid, able to get the kill. Even ZX Aura will fall. This could possibly be it here. Trying to hold on the best they can. Mongolia now working on the base, a couple hits away, but they don't have the minion push they're looking for. Isaac gonna jump in. They get the flicker down from CCAT, and it could end here. Mongolia
way back up.
They've got 6 games under their belt, man. At this point, Mongolia does. And they're off to face the Philippines in best of 5 for the grand final.
We're locked and ready for this one. Just right in from that game. A tight 3 matches for the lower bracket. And now, Philippines put down Mongolia in the lower bracket. But just by this moment, they're just saying hello once again in the grand finals.
This is going to be an interesting grand finals too. I mean, we've waited, for it to eventually get there. We've gone through the 2 series today, found ourselves now ahead of us the grand final best of 5. And of course, both teams here, you can tell, right? Again, we were talking about the mental endurance that's needed in this, this entire basically last day.
Yeah.
And so hopefully there's, some reset that's going to happen here for Mongolia as they get prepped up to fight off the Philippines.
Yes, and we're seeing all the supporters of the Filipino team here right on in our live audience. Big shout out to our Filipino fans there who's also waiting for the grand finals. Mabuhay.
Yeah, so, okay. This is, we're going to have our work cut out here, right? We're going to have to break this game down because we got like bits and pieces of it. And as we hopefully, we look at the replay there, we look at the breakdown of the stats, there is again a time when Cambodia was the one marching down with the Lord, right?
Yeah.
And they were able to make some of the plays that they needed to. But, as soon as we came back, it was just like Mongolia knew the game plan. They knew how the setup was, and they're like, well, let's just go make a beeline for the Lord, take the Lord, and then march into the base. And, that's exactly what they did.
They were extending the vision or even the placement on where CCAT was in. As you notice, going back to the pause, 2 members fell down right away. It was CCAT and it's the marksman, or D7 rather, who was going for another reconnaissance back in the base. But going that deep and that point of the game could actually give you, well, information, but also that is the ways of the enemy could actually be up against you, losing a fact that D7 in Anatolia would be a lethal way of bursting one down from their side. But it turned things around right away. And to go back on what happened on that game, this is the replay back in minute 1 where Ethan was on Fairness getting the first blood for Mongolia.
Yeah, like I said, things basically had to start out well for them, and they tried their best to get the footing they needed. This was just kind of a back and forth between both teams, really setting the pace, trying to set the pace the best they could. And a lot of this too was for ATM. ATM was able to just make play and set after set on this R-Lot, which is something we expected from game 1. So, his performance was massive here for Cambodia, but unfortunately, like I said, as the game transitioned, it was just unfortunate for them. It wasn't enough exactly from the decisiveness from Mongolia.
Looking how the box works on the side of CCAT, its RWM, this is where they completely secure their quadrant for CCAT and as well as for D7. A lot of shutdowns has happened, but one of the things that Mongolia is turning back around is once all of the resources, even ultimates, has been casted out quickly, that's where they strike. That's where they get their way of like targeting Fury in an open space, because there's no way that either Shima or even ATM can protect him right in the front, because that's how soft they were 6 minutes in the game.
Yeah, and I loved, there was a great effort from D7 here, on this Natalia. And we had this this pick pop up earlier, right? And it flopped. So this time for D7, I feel like there was a lot of threat, right? Especially even just looking at the highlights here, or the replay, you can see there's a lot of pressure he was putting against Mongolia. But eventually, even at the end of the game, right, where you saw him kind of get in position to help with that last Lord push, it unfortunately, he got spotted out. He got a little bit of damage on ZX Aura, and then he got taken out of the picture, and then it was just a numbers advantage, right? And that's why, again, for this game, there was just a lot of back and forth. And even D7 there, not being able to get forbid was tough to deal with, and you just had a great kind of back and forth battle between these two powerhouse teams.
Yeah, D7, it's all about information. It's all about how he could get the lethal burst out of one of Mongolia. But looking at the later stage of the game was like a window that could cost him his death. So now Zora just keeps on taking down or maximizing those avenues. He can actually dive right in the back line, being a Hayabusa. So that's one way of like putting them in the state like, will you get the Lord? Will you get the objective? Because somebody could dive right away in the backlines of Cambodia.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, even as we see here, the final minutes of the game, this is now the 16 and a half. This is where we took that, before we took that break, like they had the Lord, right? But it was quickly worked through, and the turret still stood here, right? It still stood up, and you saw some fight back. That's really where you saw the fight back. And even with this, ATM, like I said, doing a lot. Just doing a lot here for Cambodia. And at the end, they found the initiations that they needed, and they come through just full force, you know, and that's really hard to deal with if you're Cambodian, you're down a member.
Yes, and that is the game. You're waiting for the minions to even push, but there's just one or two that was needed to take down the base of Cambodia, completing their climb back up.
I am excited to see the scoreboard, you know, so we get that big picture of things, how they broke out. Again, you know, we had bits and pieces of it throughout that game, but still the part of that too is, as we saw from the replay, the highlights there and everything else, it was a great match, right? In essence, it was a great match back and forth between two teams that had a great chance of going to the grand final. Now, again, you have to kind of consider the fact that Mongolia will be playing in the grand final after all of this they've done today. So let's take a look at the scoreboard here, the stats from this game. Again, game number 3, going the distance here, 23-17, Mongolia capping out the series at 20 minutes, 23 seconds. And you can see just how much damage they were eventually able to do as the game got to that ultra. Is this the ultra late game, Francis?
Not yet.
This isn't yet. This is still, for you, this is just late game.
Late game. Yeah, because if you would really want to have a breakdown on what 23-17 on this match went through, you see how even the gold is, even the buffs, even the towers, even the Lord kills, it was just even like back and forth, as you may say. All items were complete. It's just about how will they hold that way, because in the side of Cambodia, there's no way that they could actually be in the front lines of Mongolia without having any sacrifice. Only D7 or even Shima has the way to even have a follow-up, a knock-up, but ADM, what he does with his final slash is that's why he breaks everything out of Mongolia. But one thing that they have from the minute 15 to 17 into this game is they have more sustain with the help of the Halt Altar as well.
Yep.
Even from just by the items. They have the Rose Gold meter onto Bebex. They have more ways of evading damage as well as magic burst. We have the Athena shields completely present in the side of Mongolia. They have more ways to even like, okay, we can take a punch, but would you have a follow-up if you're Cambodia? So that's where they capitalize on, because as you can see, they have all the tools. You have the Antikyras present, you have the Warhouse, you have the Brute Force Plate, even the Radiant Armor. All of the things here were totally on point in getting those, attack and defense right into Mongolia. It's just that the time was really a great pressure on how will they pull through that two-man takedown where we just got back from the pause. And with that kind of casualty, you don't want that to happen, and even in the later stage of the game, the late game that we call, but not even being in the ultra late game. So that is the state that kind of fell during that moment.
Yeah, I think one thing that maybe would have helped Cambodia to stay in that game a little longer is if they had the information that they needed. I don't know if they were necessarily expecting Mongolia to just go straight for the Lord when we came back from that, you know, or exactly how that unfolded, but it seems like Mongolia just knew the plan. They went for it, and they end up, you know, besting Cambodia again. But we do have to remind everyone, right, that even with this, Cambodia will get that basically third place here. But again, all these teams have already qualified to go forward to the World Championship in Romania. So, you know, it's still a great honor for all of them participating in this. We even saw it in the video, you know, leading into this, what they think about specifically the IESF tournament. Being a part of this is already something they should be proud of. So again, they will be moving on to Romania later on, I believe, in the tournament. I think that's in August, right? So
late August, yeah.
Late August. They'll find themselves there, and they'll be able to pretty much meet each other again alongside all the other teams. That's going to be a massive tournament, basically. But now, again, with this concluding, we do still have, you know, of course, the grand final match, right? And that will be the best of 5. And it's a rematch from earlier today. You know, it's
from semifinals.
Yeah.
Down. We go back up.
Back to the grand finals.
The mindset of Mongolia with a reset following through everything to the challenge. They're like, okay, do it one more time. But as you said, a test of perseverance just happened. But can they pull through another set of a series of games with the Philippines?
That's the thing, is you have to remember, too, that Mongolia was the first team to give the Philippines like their first loss, you know, in terms of a game-to-game, right? They did take one game from the Philippines. They were taking them to that third game, and it was a dominant game. Right, it was, and we actually heard from the players ourselves that it was a bit of a struggle. You know,
tough match.
Yeah, respectful between those two teams and just how good and how strong they are. So, you know, I'm not sure exactly how Mongolia, for example, prepares for this in terms of like how do they reset. I'm sure they want to go ahead and get refreshments as well, like we did.
Get coffee or cake or something.
Yeah, you love the cake.
Even shawarma.
I'm sure they do shawarma, but. My thing is they got to reset. They got to get prepped up because if they do end up for some reason going, hopefully, like I said, 5 games for the grand final, it will be a true test of pretty much mental fortitude for them.
I'm excited.
So
I'm excited. And this is just the grand finals. We're about to wait in a few moments on. This will be actually a complete determination test for, again, for Mongolia. So let's see how they go through with this. Will they change something out of the book? Will they mix something up? Will they pull something off that we still haven't seen yet? Because looking back on the stats, how the hero pool of the Philippines and Team Mongolia went, they're so unique in a way.
I think both of them,
yeah. And you do not actually expect that where would this hero will land on. A lot of unique heroes and so many flexible players are actually doing a great job in maintaining those kind of a mystery that we kind of like not expect in the draft.
I think, again, we've already talked about this too. The fact that today was the day that you like bring out those picks. You know, those aces up your sleeve, the cheese strats, if you will.
Magic bag of tricks.
Magic bag of tricks. Yeah, that works too. But no, that's the time. And honestly, through today and even yesterday, as we saw a lot of teams bringing out some of those surprising picks. And so I think, you know, for the grand final, of course, either you just see back to the comfort and they kind of stay there. Right, that's always an option, and that's where we saw them really shine. Again, if you can get some of those key hero pickups, you kind of guarantee yourself a good early game. And we're talking about a team against the Philippines here, and that's what we know, right? We have already talked a lot about the boxes that need to be checked, and one of those being controlling the early game against the Philippines. So does that come down to the draft? Well, of course it does, but still in a way that even if you let some of these you know, relatively more meta picks now that I feel like we've found ourselves in the meta now.
Yeah, you're getting a hang of it.
Yeah, unless it drastically changes for some reason, you know, between here and Romania.
Change? Oh, yeah, of course.
It could, yeah.
Of course. Time only will tell, man.
Because the thing is, too, like we have, like in this tournament, obviously, because she just came out, we can't play the new hero, right? Ixia.
Oh, Ixia. Oh,
and
it's good too.
Yeah, and the thing is like I believe Valentina as well, but the who has changed? Yeah, it's kind of changed.
Not banned, not prioritized,
exactly.
Not even picked.
Exactly. So you know that's why.
Let's hope for it, though. It's completely over for the grand finals to actually happen in a few minutes from now. So. One thing that we need to point up with is, again, there are comfort picks of Mongolia that could still be present against Philippines. So you might see, as you've mentioned, change, adaptability, and also flexibility among how would you mix and match things about it. Because there could be, they're the team who actually defeated the Angela first pick.
Yeah,
combo.
That wasn't just defeat, man. They shut it down.
Yeah, completely. And we were asking ourselves what could be the answer for this type of Angeling, Langeling combo from the very beginning.
Langelot.
Langelot.
I forgot what it was. It's been a while.
That's 3 heroes. Langeling. No, 2. So depends on how will they do it again, because the identity of these two teams went up from day one to now. They are just so persevered to go through and like, okay, we had a bad start. Now let's do another reprogram for this kind of year. And it just works. Reset for every match and everything that they do is just completely working.
Yeah, I think, again, you know, we have to, we can only speculate so much after what we've seen from 2 series now today, both going the distance, both going 3 games. And really, like, what's ahead of us? So we can only speculate, like I said, so much. We are going to be taking a break before we move on to the grand finals. So thank you for being patient with us. We'll be back after this for the grand finals.
One purpose. One dream. One rhythm. One step closer to glory. They say history remembers the winner. So who will be the ones writing the future? The halls of power call for their kings. The ones who won't back down. The ones who believed. The ones who knew that over 100 nations can't be wrong. Join the fight between August 24th and September 3rd as Yash becomes the world's esports capital.
When upgrading your emblems, you will unlock talents at specific levels. Different emblems will unlock different talents. You can choose an emblem by role and use the talents it unlocks directly as your default setup, or you can freely mix and match different emblems and talents to create a custom emblem setup. We're going to show you how to create your emblem setup for your heroes. Emblems. First, let's take a look at the revamped emblem system. There are now 7 emblems in the game, 1 basic common emblem and 6 role emblems. Different emblems can provide different attribute bonuses. It is recommended to use the emblem that matches a hero's role. Standard talents, Tier 1. After selecting an emblem, you can then choose from 8 standard talents at Tier 1. These talents provide mostly straightforward bonuses to heroes. Of the 8 talents, Thrill and Swift are good on almost any hero, while other talents are more catered to certain roles. Standard talents, Tier 2. At Tier 2, you will also have 8 standard talents to choose from. The Tier 2 talents trigger or work under different circumstances. We still recommend choosing one that matches the role of your hero. But if you're an advanced player, you are free to choose any of the talents to fit your playstyle. For example, if you're playing the core hero on your team and want to focus on gearing up fast, you can choose the Bargain Hunter talent regardless of how your hero deals damage. And heroes who rely on their skills for sustained damage, whether it be a mage or fighter, can use the Festival of Blood talent for more spell vamp. Core talents, Tier 3. Finally, let's talk about the most important talents, the core talents. There are 8 core talents available in the game, and each provides a unique and powerful effect. We recommend choosing the core talent to match your hero's role and only use core talents from other emblems for advanced or unconventional tactics. The revamped Weakness Finder talent is no longer reserved for ranged heroes. This talent is now a viable option for any hero that relies on basic attacks and wants better laning and the ability to slow enemies. The Lethal Ignition talent now deals adaptive damage, making it a prime choice for any hero that has heavy-hitting combos. While the revamped emblem system still uses the existing talents, we have removed the restrictions between emblems and talents, opening up new possibilities for many heroes. We look forward to seeing players discover new ways to play their favorite heroes on their way to becoming a legend.